Hey, Krista's Chalking Crew. This is Krista Mahon, independent designer with Couture. Today we're going to do Endless Laundry Company. So this is a C-size transfer, and we're going to use our burlap board. So we're going to go ahead and mark the packaging. So Endless Laundry. Who doesn't have Endless Laundry, right? So we are going to open the packaging. And since we're using a burlap board, we're not going to fuzz, okay? So it's kind of a fabric. But we are going to mark our transfer front and back because these are reusable 8 to 12 times. So we always want to mark the transfer backing because once it's dry, we'll put it right back on here, okay? So you go ahead and peel it off. Set that aside. And then we're going to line it up on our burlap board. And I have something fun with this one actually. So instead of doing wash and dry and fluff and fold, we're going to move the transfer and we're going to use these nice little metal words up here, okay? So I'm just not going to chalk, wash, and dry, okay? Everything else, and we're going to move fluff and fold over here. So I'm going to use black velvet on this. Just want to make sure it's down. We're going to use the paste. On the burlap board, you can use paste or ink. I prefer paste on them. A lot of people might do ink. I just think the paste does well and it does not bleed in the burlap. Plus, I'm not going to wash this and I'm not going to get it wet. So I feel like paste is my best option. You want your paste to be like consistency of yogurt. We're going to use a bigger size squeegee, which is considered the small, not the medium or not the mini. And we're just going to go ahead and start pasting. The burlap does take a little bit more paste because you're doing a fabric. So just want it to be nice and thick, but we still want to be able to read what we're chalking. I'm going to make sure I don't get the wash and dry part because we have our little wire words that we're going to use on it. After we do this, then we're going to peel. We don't want it to dry too quick on us up there so we can finish the bottom. As you can see, I'm dipping a lot more than we were just doing a chalkboard. Once it gets in the fabric, kind of takes a lot here. So these are a little bit bigger words too, or letters. So kind of go both directions to make sure it's in the burlap part. I always like doing this with newer transfers because I know they're sticky and I know I'm not gonna cause issues. As soon as we're done, we will peel. I do peel it nice and slow too, guys, because if we have some spots that are missing, we can lay it back down and try to fill them in. So we're going to peel nice and slow. So we have a little spot right there, so I'm going to lay it back down and I'm going to take my mini squeegee, okay, and I'm just going to tap it on there, okay. And I feel like there's a spot right here. I feel like our end's got a little spot right there. I'm only going one direction too, guys, when I do that. I don't do more than one direction, and I try to get it nice and thick. I'm just filling the holes. I got a little bit of my A over here, so I'm just gonna hit it. All right, guys, we're going to just let it dry a little bit. I'm gonna get my blow dryer, so hang tight. It's called the Peel and Reveal. That back down. We're not doing that part yet, so I'm just going to make sure that Open 24/7 is down. I'm going to use my mini squeegee just because it's littler and I can have more control so I don't go into the fluff and fold part. Okay. Going to peel it off. Okay, now I'm going to blow dry that and make sure that that's nice and dry before we put it back down. I'm gonna get my hands clean because I got paste all over them and I don't want to get it on the board. This is fabric, so pretty much permanent once it gets in the textiles and the fibers on the fabric. So I'm gonna wash my hands here. Make sure I don't have no black ink or paste on them. Grab me a little towel. Okay, so the only part we're gonna push down on this, we're just gonna lay this down and then we're gonna put fold and fluff right above the 24/7. Okay. I'm gonna line it up with the words up top so we know that it was spaced out properly. And my and sign is right in the center of that. So I feel like we're good. We'll wash this transfer. And then, great, okay. So I'll set that aside and I'm gonna wash it in the water. So I just take a board eraser and my water bath. Some people wait till the end. I just prefer to clean them as I go. It's less work, I feel like, and it's not as tedious to try to get the paste off. Black can stain the teal part of the transfer, but it will not get into the silk screen if you wash it really well. Use a little board eraser here in the water to help get it off. Anything with dark pigment, so your reds, your darker greens, your black, they can stain the teal part, which is okay, no worries, especially if you do the peel and reveal. So, might take a second here to wash, but get it out of the water. Don't let it soak. They're pretty good for the usage is advertised 10 or 8 to 12 times. I have transfers last longer than that. So if you take care of them, I do feel like they last longer. I have a board eraser outside the water that I'm just running my hand over. And you always want to dry sticky side up. So whatever you're drying on, the transfer does not stick to. So once it hits the water, it's not sticky. But I don't know, within maybe, depending on how much water you have dripping off of it, but maybe 10 minutes. You can use a blow dryer to speed the process up. It's dry, put it back on the backer, ready to use for the next time, next project, whatever you're going to make at that point. Alright, so we got that all cleaned, and then we're going to put our little accent pieces on, and we'll be good to go. Get my hands dry here. So we have a few little spots that I'm not too crazy about. Some people might not bother them. So I'm going to take my little detail tool, and since it's burlap, you can kind of touch them up. And when on chalkboard, you can't do this because you can tell like right away that you do it. So I just take a little bit of paste, and I'm just going to smooth it on there. And since the burlap board is a fabric, you cannot tell you do this. Like I said, on chalkboard, you can tell right away. But on the burlap board, it's pretty forgiving. So I'm just going to touch up them little spots there. And once it's dry, you can't even tell. I'm going to get a little bit more on my finger. Got a little bit on this D right here. I think that looks good. And the detail tool, I love it. It's one of the best tools. That and the multi-tool. See a little bit more spots here. I'm going to grab a little bit more paste. All right, I think we're good to go. I love how this turned out, guys. So we're going to use our little wire words here. So we're going to do wash and dry. And I think it looks really good with the black paste here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my glue gun. I'm not going to put much on here because I do not want it to get everywhere. I'm probably not going to be able to see it, but just a little dab. I'm going to hopefully be able to get on the wire part. And the strings we can get off afterwards. I'm not too worried about that. So I'm just going to hit a little bit of every part of this. And once we have it on the fabric go, we don't want to pull it off, okay? It'll pull the burlap with it, so preferably just work as fast as possible. Hopefully we don't have any problems. I'm just kind of touching it. You could use like a clear glue as well, but I'm just going to place this on here. I'm just going to push it down. And like I said, the strings on the hot glue, we can move those. That's not a problem. And the whole thing might not touch, but as long as we have some of it touching, because these wire things aren't 100% straight or flat. Okay, so we're going to get the dry part. So we're going to put the dry here. They're a little bit bent up, so. Okay, so I get the dry. I'm just like tapping it with my hot glue. I'm not putting like a big old dollop on there. I'm kind of just like going over the outline of it. Hopefully you can see that on the video. And like I said, we can remove the strings after the stringies. That's the thing about hot glue, right? And try not to burn myself too much. Okay. Now we're going to place it on here. I feel like that looks good right there. We're just going to push down any of the parts that we do have touching. Like I said, the whole thing will not touch because it's kind of popped up. But enough should be touching that. And then afterwards, you can just take your little strings and kind of wipe them away. And if you need to touch up a little bit, it won't be a problem. If it's popped up, you can try to hit a few more spots. But that is endless laundry, guys. Thank you for joining me. All my tools I put in the bath of water next to me, just what we washed the transfer in. When we're done with the paste, I put a little spritz on my water. I use distilled or filtered water. Do not use tap. And there is endless laundry, guys. Thank you for joining me. If you want to follow me on Facebook, my quick search is at Chalk Like a Boss. And if you want to subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.